an eargasm of learning and a no-fuss show. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast, where you can learn straightforward topics about branding, digital entrepreneurship, online business, and many more with your charming host, John Santos, along with inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders worldwide.
For you, what is success? With all your journey, with all your experiences, your take on success. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's a huge question, right? Because for me personally, what I think it is very different to what I thought it was, right? So for me, success, the definition of success is the making progress towards a goal, right? You feel like you're making progress towards something. But I thought that success was really about the achievement in other people's eyes as opposed to my own eyes. I thought, I was looking for success, I think, in the wrong place, right? I think what success is now to me is very different to what it was. So for me now, success is peace, happiness, fulfillment, love, contentment. And I know this sounds like a cliche, but for me, it's not out there, it's in here, right? And I just was looking for years outside of myself for the very thing that is already there. And that sounds like a very easy and a flippant thing to say, that because some people might be in a really difficult spot right now, a very challenging spot. But despite where we are, most of us are lucky enough that we could feel peace, happiness, fulfillment, contentment, love, acceptance. We can do all of that for ourselves. I'm not saying it's easy, because we kind of live in a world that's in direct opposition, saying, no, what you're looking for is out there. It's in front of you.
Wow.
And, yeah, I mean, it's funny what wakes us up in life, right? It's funny what makes us start looking at life differently. And I must admit, Jan, I'm curious about what you think. I am a little concerned for the world and the way
Well,
the world is looking and where people are looking, because I think now more people are looking online than ever before.
Right.
ChatGPT has been, I mean, everyone is on ChatGPT, right? It's like, what are we looking for?
Right.
I suppose if you ask ChatGPT what is success, I'd be interested. Shall I ask it? What is success?
Let's go. Let's have a try.
It says, hang on, ready? What is success? Okay, here we go. So ChatGPT says that success is one of the most overused and misunderstood words in our world today. For many,
Wow.
it's measured by wealth, status, or external achievements. But is this real success? Actually, what's really interesting is that because this ChatGPT has learned me, it's now using my language, saying I used to believe that success was about pushing harder, achieving more, improving myself. So isn't that weird how it knows me now?
Love it. It's the same here. I use Gemini, so a part of my thinking process and ethos, it's already there. So once you ask it something, it crafts the answer as if I'm the one, talking. It's a tool though. But I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but again, for all our supporters out there, until now, one of the highest video that we have is a clip and from an old episode, the first series, and that is featuring Pete Cohen. It's on Instagram. It's almost 1 million views. I mean, there's a lot of videos that are bigger than that, but the main thing why that really strikes me and continuously reminds me is that in that episode, I learned a lot from Pete. I asked you, Pete, I don't know if you remember what success is all about back then. And your answer really shaped my thinking. And from that day on, whenever I speak on events, whenever I record, or whenever I coach one-on-one, that became the core of who Jan is as a brand. I have this phrase that I took from that. If you want to be successful, you need to be a tool for somebody to achieve success. In layman's term, If you want to achieve success, help someone. That is something that you taught me, Pete. If you want to reach your goal, help someone, extend kindness, extend light, share positivity, little things. You don't need to be, grand or anything. Just share the light that you have. Help someone achieve their success in life, or at least one step closer towards their goal. And trust me, your life will be different. When you mentioned that, I was like, whoa. First, I'm going to use that. Second is, wow, I really learned a lot. So
Well,
thank you, Pete.
I think make sure you repost that or put it on story so I can look at it again and share it as well. So I'd be interested to see what I said. But I think what's really fascinating about that is perhaps another arm of success is knowing who you are,
Mm,
right? And knowing who you're here to serve and how you serve them. And I only told you what you already knew. That if someone says to me, "Who is Jan Santos?" I say, "Well, Jan he's an expert in his field, but he's a tool. He's a tool to help you turn whatever it is you want to turn to make it work better." And I
mm,
only told you something, like I say, that you already know. And that journey within to find out who you are is the greatest journey of all. It's taken me, since we first recorded that, life has changed massively for me. My father just passed away just before that. My mum has passed away. My wife has
yeah,
passed away. And it's only through going through that these major stop
right.
moments have really made me look at who I'm being and
Mm,
who am I really at my core, and what is it that I'm actually really here to do. And I think, is that not the ultimate success? It's just I know who I am.
right.
I don't need anything from anybody. I know who I am, and
Yeah,
I know what I'm here to do. And I think some people call that purpose or knowing
right.
why. But what a great journey to go on to help someone and to
Mm,
support someone tap into the essence. I know
love
who I
that.
am.
Love that. Love that. You mentioned, different challenges that you encountered. Loved one leaving you, being with our creator, business shifting. And for all the supporters out there, listeners and viewers, that was like 4 years ago. I believe we were recording clubhouse events, and that was the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So all the businesses are in disarray, changes and everything. There's a lot of challenges. With that said, Pete, how do you keep going when the things get tough? How do you persevere? The floor is yours.
Um, Again, if you know who you are and you know what you're here to do. So actually, we might have discussed this years ago, but the word entrepreneur,
Hmm,
people think comes from this French word, means someone who's going to take a risk
hmm,
in the pursuit of a profit, right? But it actually has a much deeper meaning. I learned this actually on Clubhouse as well from Beju Solanki.
hmm.
Uh, he has Indian ancestry, and he was talking about Sanskrit, the first written words. And he said that the word entrepreneur comes from a Sanskrit word, which means this like burning desire to do something. It
Mm,
doesn't matter what happens, that flame, if you like, it never blows out. So I think that, if you really know, then there is no failure, because you're kind of, you want to continue to do what you want to do.
mm,
But for me, I suppose it's changed. I still want to serve like you. I still want to inspire people,
right.
but it's changing. And I think it's changing partly because maybe, Jan, the world is changing so much
Yeah.
that it's just making me question not my place in this world, but what part I want to play in this world.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I think it's so important to stop and take a bit of time out. I know you like taking time out and traveling and just doing nothing sometimes that's got anything to do with work, just
Right.
ponder and reflect what's important. And that's why we need each other sometimes,
Yeah.
bounce off. But, in answer to your question, I think if you really know your true value in this life, then whatever happens is just something that has to be worked through.
Mm,
What do you think?
I love that. Love that. Yeah. I mean, what keeps me going in life is exactly like you have a clear understanding of why you're doing the things that you do in the first place, and it may change. Season will require change. Change is good. It could be an upgrade. It could be pruning stage. Taking things that are no longer effective in the next chapter. It's like reading a book. Once you finish the book, the first series, then another will start. It may be the same character but different, different villains, different settings. What the hero got from the first series is still with him, but he will require, an upgrade, a different armor, a different ally. It could be in a different scenario, things like that. So in life, it's like that. You have your core, you know who you are, you know what you need to do, you still know what you need to offer, but it may be changing. It could be an
Yeah. I
upgrade.
mean,
Yeah.
I think the way that the world is now, the way that the metaverse, when that came out, I think a lot of people thought, oh, we're all going into this.
Yeah.
And we're going into this virtual world. And I thought that's happening. All
Mm,
these different, put on the goggles and get lost in that world.
right.
That didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. But now
Yeah.
ChatGPT has happened.
Mm,
And all of this, and you're using another bit of AI. I think we are going down that road. I think we are going down that road where more people are going to leave the reality that we know
right.
and enter into a different one. And
Mm,
who's to say which one is right and wrong? I mean, for me to say, well, that's wrong, well, it might not be. That might be, you might have this wonderful interaction with your AI. You might actually end up with, Elon wants everyone to have a robot in their house. And, and that's coming. And to say it's wrong,
yeah.
it's like, well, who am I to say it's wrong? It's just, I'm just thinking, well, what part do I want to play in all of this?
Mm,
And I think for me, Jan, I just want to be a light in people's life. I just want to be, I know that sounds again like, what's that mean? I just want to be a ray of sunshine.
mm,
I want to, and I was just in Malaysia, as you know, and actually I was there it's crazy, I was there with Woon. Well, you know
yeah.
that, right? Because I was there
Yeah.
with Woon, another friend who we met on Clubhouse, and we saw that ice cream parlor called Scoop. And we thought of you because of your branding and your
Yeah.
creativity. Because, I mean, not only are you a tool for others, well, you're a creative tool for others. You're very good at coming up with ideas. But I just think now, and the way that our world is changing so fast, it's important, like you said, just to take a little bit of time out
Yeah.
and think, okay, what part do I want to play in this ever-changing world? Because it's like you said, it's like a new season,
Yeah.
it's another time. And I'm 55 in May, right? So
Wow.
yeah, it's like time is moving, and it's just time. I'm in that season. I'm still in that season of reflecting. I'm not posting everywhere
Right.
like I used to. Post everywhere, be
Yeah.
everywhere. And it's like, no. It's like you. I mean, one of your most famous quote, right? It's like, what's your intent? And it's
Yeah.
funny. You think about that, right? What's your intent behind your content?
Mm.
Well, I've got that tattoo now on my arm.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I know. I got another one on this arm that says "breathe."
Ooh,
You know?
I didn't know about that. I saw the intention. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Well, if you breathe intentionally, then you'll find that you'll be present, and then maybe that's
Wow.
yes, just being present. But isn't it interesting? Just reflecting on those conversations. What is
Love
your
that.
intent? Otherwise, if you're just putting content into the world and you want to be heard, I mean, how many people want to be heard right now?
Right.
You got to know who you are. That's what, for me, that's why I'm still really kind of getting to know myself. A part of me died when my wife died. I'm
Mm,
still like, who am I?
mm,
And going deep into my core. And that's a journey that not everyone wants to do, because you have to face yourself. Look what happens when Batman, faces himself. He faces his demons, right? I know we're big Batman fans, right? It's like, remember in Star Wars when Luke Skywalker, I think he goes into a cave or something,
right. Yeah.
faces Nemesis, and it's himself, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, to face yourself, to face your own experience of who you are, who you've been.
Mm,
It's a scary journey, I think, for a lot of people, because you're facing how you've been living.
right. You
And a lot
mentioned
of
about
people living today.
you mentioned about facing challenges and facing failure, it could make or break you as you move forward in your journey. For you, Pete, with all the challenges that you've endured, and preparing for some new ones in this new season of your life, what's the biggest lesson you've learned so far in handling failure? The floor is yours.
My biggest is that, I mean, it sounds again like a cliche, but there's no such thing as failure.
Mm.
Something's happened. Something's happened. What are you going to do about it, right? It's like, oh, we failed. What does that actually mean? If you take it personally, you're in trouble. If you take it with, okay, here's an opportunity. We hear this all the time, but I think if you're looking in the wrong place for things. If you're looking for success because you want approval,
Right.
you fail, then you might think, well, in the eyes of everybody else, I don't want people to know. It's like, have you ever done that before where you're walking down a street and you slip and the first thing you do is look to see who's looking,
Yeah.
rather than to grab something to make sure that you're okay.
Mm.
We're also self-conscious. We're also, I say we all, most of us around the world, we're very conscious of what other people think. You've got to get over yourself.
Mm.
And if what you want to achieve is that important, then realize, well, there's just something to learn.
Thank you for being with us here on the Creative Talk Podcast. I'm your host, John Santos. Don't forget to listen and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. See you again, always.